Hi, I'm Patrick Perry. I'd like to show you retro gaming book and retro gaming Wikipedia. I'd like to show you. Okay, this is called retro gaming with a talking book right here. Take a look at that. And now, yeah, I got one right here. I got a book right here. You see that? You see? I got a book right here. You see? See right here? Okay, this right here. Hang on. So the page right here. See that? See right here? Atari right here. It's a Pac-Man. A Donkey Kong. Hang on. Right here. Donkey Kong right here. Right here. You played it at video games. They got Asteroid, Missile Commando, Pitfall, E.T. See that? See that? Look at that. See that? See that right here? Okay, see that? See right here? This is history about with the video game council. Commodore 64 right here. You see? Commodore 64 right here. Look at that. You like to play the game right here? Just hang on, okay? See that? Okay,
See that? See right here? This is the Nintendo right here.
You play the video games.
Okay, take a look at that right here. Power Gloves. R-O-B. Look at that. You see that? Right here and right here. You see that? It's a power pad. See that? See? Right here. See that? Just see right here? See that? Just hang on. I'm gonna find about a video game council. You know, about to show you about like this. Oh, check it out. Check out for that. See that? This is a Master System right here. You see right here, Master System right here. See that? Right here. Yes? Okay, hang on. Just hang on, okay? The figure will call me up.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Just hang on, okay? Yeah. That's a biggie. That's my brother Kenneth's wife. She called me out. Okay, I'm gonna start where we at is. We got a Game Boy. Maybe right here. You see? Let's see here. Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Light, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, Game Gear. Okay. You see right here? Right here. This to be right here, right here, right here, and right here. See that? See that? See? Sega Genesis. Check it out. See that? Hang on, okay? I'm gonna find the video console, okay? Just hang on. Oh, check it out. Let's say Power Best Converter Means Acer Mega CD Sega CDs 32X about Sega. Check it out. Hang on. Let's say Activator. Check it out. You see right here? See? That's pretty neat. Check it out for that. It's a Super Bowl Micom. And there's a Super Nintendo. Check it out. You see right here? That's pretty neat. Hang on, I'm gonna take a look at the video game console, okay? Just hang on. Wow, check it out. You see right here? You're gonna love that. The card that we have here is Amiga with the computers. You gotta check it out for that. Yes. You see right here. Yeah, that's about a long time ago, I had the Amiga, the monitor. Amiga monitor is, let me think, it is 1991 through 2008. My Amiga, the monitor getting old. Yeah, getting old for that. I loved about Amiga a monitor. I love that. I love that the monitor. I'm gonna miss you so much for that is. Just hang on, okay? I'm going to let it peel the good stuff, okay? Just hang on. Oh yeah, to check it out, it is Atari Jaguar 3DO Neo Geo AES. Check it out. You see that? See right here? See? See that? That's pretty neat. Oh yeah, they got Philips CDI, Amiga CD32, they got Apple, Bandai, Philippine. Oh, check it out what that is. You see it? See? That's pretty neat. They got PC FX. They got Nintendo Virtual Boy. They got Monster GX 4000. Oh, check it out. Check it out, okay? You see that? See that? Check it out right here. You see it? That's PlayStation's controller right here. See that? Just hang on, okay? I'm gonna take a look, okay? Just hang on. Okay, that's called American vs. Japan. You wanna check it out. This is called American vs. Japan. Right here. See that? See that? Oh yeah, see that right here? That's pretty neat. Hang on, I'm going to find the cool stuff. Just hang on. Okay, let's just say Nintendo 64. Okay, this is called the cartridge is king. Just hang on. Check it out. You see that right here? That's pretty neat. Wow, check it out. You gotta check it out. See that? See that? That's pretty neat. Hang on, I'm gonna put the cool stuff. Just hang on. Oh yeah. Let's say Sega Dreamcast. Check it out. Okay. Check it out for that. Let's see that right here. You're gonna love that game. You're gonna love that game for that. You're gonna love that game. Let's say Sony PlayStation 2. Check it out. You see that? Oh yeah, check out, it is called Nintendo GameCube. Check it out. Let's see. This is right here. You're gonna love that right here. You're gonna love that right here. Hang on. Oh, God. Oh, check it out. It's a Microsoft Xbox. Check it out. And see that? You're gonna love the Xbox. You're gonna love the Xbox right here. Just hang on, okay? Well, just hang on, okay? Well, check out about a Pac-Man with the ghost. You see that? See that? See that right here? This is the end of the book. You need to buy is Metro Gaming with the book right here. You need to order now. You need to type it. Just hang on. You need to type it. Amazon.com. Amazon.com. You need to type we found it right here. You need to buy the book just like that, okay? The book just like that. See that? The book just like that. Okay. I'd like to show you about Metro Gaming Wikipedia. I like to show you that, yes. I like to show you. Okay. This is called Metro Gaming. Okay, okay. Let's see Wikipedia. Let's see read out loud. Now listen this.
Retro gaming. From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. You have a new message, last change. Not to be confused with Retro Studios. Super Potato, a retro game store in Akihabara, Tokyo. Gameplay of Alex Kidd in Miracle World on a Sega Master System in 2012. Other retro systems can be seen in the background. Retro gaming, also known as classic gaming and old school gaming, is the playing and/or collecting of older versions of personal computers, consoles, and/or video games, generally arcade, in contemporary times. Usually, retro gaming is based upon systems that are obsolete or discontinued. It is typically put into practice for the purpose of nostalgia, preservation, or the need to achieve authenticity. Retro gaming has three main activities: vintage retro gaming emulation, and ported retro gaming. Vintage retro gaming includes games that are played on the original hardware. Emulation involves newer systems simulating old gaming systems, while ported retro gaming allows games to be played on modern hardware via ports or compilations. Additionally, the term could apply to a newer game, but with features similar to those of older games, such as a retro RPG which features turn-based combat and an isometric camera perspective. Participants in the hobby are sometimes known as retro gamers in the United Kingdom, while the terms classic gamers or old school gamers are more prevalent in the United States. Similarly, the games are known as retro games, classic games, or old school games. 1. Retro gaming has existed since the early years of the video game industry, but was popularized with the popularity of the internet and emulation technology. 2. It is argued that the main reasons players are drawn to retro games are nostalgia for different eras. 3. The idea that older games are more innovative and original. 3. And the simplicity of the games that requires less hours of gameplay. Retro gaming and retro computing have been described as preservation activity and as aspects of the remix culture. 4. Contents. 1. Origin of the word. 2. Games. 3. Retro gaming methods. 3.1 Vintage retro gaming. 3.2 Retro gaming emulation. 3.3 Ported retro gaming. 3.3.1 Remakes. 3.3.2 Re-releases. 3.3.3 Plug-and-play systems. For retro gaming community. 4.1 Online retro gaming community. 4.2 Fighting game community. 4.3 Exhibitions. 4.4 Retro gaming in museums. 5 Legal issues surrounding retro gaming. 6 See also. 7 References. 8 External links. Origin of the word, edit. The first known instance of the term retro in terms of gaming came from the online video game store Retro Games 5, which was launched in 1997 as a joint effort of Turbo Zone Direct and Robert Fraser. It specialized primarily in TurboGrafx-16, Sega Master System, and NES system sales and repairs. This was quickly followed by the emulation website RetroGames.com in 1998. 6. The original word was coined by Robert Fraser when he found that flashback games was taken. Games, edit. The games and systems can be anything not in the current generation. 7. Failed verification. Retro games can include video games as well as personal computer games for retro computing platforms. Arcade games are also popular and were frequently attributed to individual programmers. The distinction between what is considered retro and modern is heavily debated, but it usually coincides with either the shift from 2D to 3D games, making the 4th gen the last retro generation, and the 5th being the first modern, 8, the turn of the millennium, and the increase in online gaming, making the 5th gen the last retro generation, and the 6th being the first modern, or the switch from RCA to HDMI cables for video and sound transfer, and the shift from 4:3 to 16:9 as the main aspect ratio for the games, making the 6th gen the last retro generation, and the 7th being the first modern. Some games are played on the original hardware, others are played through emulation. Some retro games can still be played online using just the internet browser via DOS emulation. 9. In some cases, entirely new versions of the games are designed or remade. As well as playing games, a subculture of retro gaming has grown up around the music in retro games. Retro gaming methods, edit. In the wake of increasing nostalgia and the success of retro compilations in the 5th, 6th, and 7th generations of consoles, retro gaming has become a motif in modern games as well. Modern retro games impose limitations on color palette, resolution, and memory well below the actual limits of the hardware in order to mimic the look of older hardware. These may be based on a general concept of retro, as with Cave Story, or an attempt to imitate a specific piece of hardware, as with La Milana and its MSX color palette. This concept, known as deliberate retro, 10, and NOSCON, 11, began to gain traction thanks in part to the independent gaming scene, 12, where the short development time was attractive and commercial viability was not a concern. Major publishers have embraced modern retro gaming with releases such as Mega Man 9, an attempt to mimic NES hardware, Retro Game Challenge, a compilation of new games on faux NES hardware, and Sega's Fantasy Zone 2 Remake, which uses emulated System 16 hardware running on PlayStation 2 to create a 16-bit reimagining of the 8-bit original. Vintage retro gaming, edit. Used Super Famicom consoles and games sold in like new condition in Akihabara. Used games are sold with or without packaging, 13. Vintage retro gaming involves players collecting the original hardware, cartridges, and discs the video games were originally released on, 14. The hardware collected includes arcade systems, old home consoles, and their cartridges and discs. Some of these collectibles can be fairly expensive and hard to find, limiting the access to these old games. 15, 16. The vast majority, however, sell for much less than their original retail price. 17. The popularity of vintage retro gaming has led to the circulation of pirated copies of retro games, which are generally considered to lack the collector value of the original cartridges and discs. 17. Retro gaming emulation, edit. Main article, Video Game Emulator. Retro gaming emulation involves older gaming systems being emulated on new hardware. It bypasses the need to collect old consoles and original games. ROMs, read-only memory files, are taken directly from the original cartridge or disc from third parties. They are then typically put online through file-sharing sites and played via emulators on modern hardware. 14. They are also often sold as re-releases, typically in compilations containing multiple games running on emulation software. 18. Since emulation is a more accessible way to take part in retro gaming, it helped to popularize and expand on the hobby too. Ported retro gaming, edit. Ported retro gaming involves old games being played on new systems, just as emulation. It differs from emulation because the games are rewritten for the new system and do not use the original ROM files. 14. Ported games are available through official collections, console-based downloads, and plug-and-play systems. 2. Ported retro gaming is comparatively rare, since emulation is a much easier and more accurate method of running retro games on modern hardware. Remakes, edit. Main article, Video Game Remake. Modern retro gaming may sometimes be more broadly applied to games that feature retro-style designs and reimaginings with more modern graphics. These enhanced remakes include Pac-Man, Championship Edition, Space Invaders Extreme, Super Mega Worm, 3D Game Heroes. Some are based directly upon the enhanced emulation of original games, as with Nintendo's NES Remix. Screenshot of Paku Paku, a Pac-Man remake that targets the obscure and seldom used 160x100x16 mode of the CGA graphic card. 19. When remakes are created by an individual or a group of enthusiasts without commercial motivation, such games sometimes are also called fan games. These are often motivated by the phenomenon of abandonware, which is the discontinuation of sales and support by the original producers. Examples of fan-made remakes are King's Quest I, Quest for the Crown, King's Quest II, Romancing the Stones, and Freesive. The nostalgia-based revival of older game styles has also been accompanied by the development of the modern chiptune genre of game music. Chiptunes are characterized by severe limitations of sound imposed by the author's self-restriction to using only the original sound chips from 8-bit or 16-bit games. These compositions are featured in many retro-style modern games and are popular in the demo scene. Re-releases, edit. With the new possibility of the digital distribution, in mid-2000 the commercial distribution of old classical game titles became feasible again as deployment and storage costs dropped significantly. We can put something up on Steam, a digital distributor, deliver it to people all around the world, make changes. We can take more interesting risks. Retail doesn't know how to deal with those games. On Steam there's no shelf space restriction. It's great because they're a bunch of old, orphaned games. Gabe Newell, Rock, Paper, Shotgun, 20. A digital distributor specialized in bringing old games out of abandonware is GOG.com, formerly called Good Old Games, who started 2008 to search for copyright holders of classic games to re-release them legally and DRM-free. 21. Other companies have also been established to re-release retro games, including limited-run games and IM 8-bit. 22. Notable online platforms for classic video game re-releases include Nintendo's Virtual Console and Sony's PlayStation Network. Mobile application developers have been purchasing the rights and licensing to re-release vintage arcade games on iOS and Android operating systems. Some publishers are creating spin-offs to their classic games, keeping the core gameplay while adding new features, levels, and styles of play. Plug-and-play systems, edit. Plug-and-play systems have been released or licensed by companies such as Atari, Sega, and Nintendo. These systems include standalone game libraries and plug directly into the user's television. 14. Retro gaming community, edit. The Art of Video Games premiered at the Smithsonian American Art Museum in 2012. The video game industry has an active audience, including the retro gaming sector. The retro gaming community has both online and physical spaces where retro games are discussed, collected, and played too. Online retro gaming community, edit. There are several websites and online forums devoted to both retro gaming and video games in general. The content on these online platforms typically includes reviews of older games, interviews with developers, fan-made content, game walkthroughs, and message boards for discussions. 2. Many gameplay videos posted online feature attempts at breaking speedrun or high-score records. Fighting game community, edit. The competitive fighting game community traces its legacy from old-school arcades. 23. Some fighting games have continued to receive arcade releases after the end of the arcade era. 24. Face-to-face competition of Super Street Fighter II Turbo has been featured in the Evolution Championship Series. 25. Exhibitions, edit. There are several events that retro gamers can take part in. Exhibits typically include vendors, retro games available to play, tournaments, costumes, and live music, such as the Vancouver Retro Gaming Expo, run by Phase 3 Events. This event has been occurring annually since March 17, 2012, 26. Retro gaming in museums, edit. Retro gaming is recognized by museums worldwide. For example, the Retro Games Arcade Museum of Karlsruhe, Germany was founded in 2002, 27, 28, and the Computerspiele Museum Berlin was founded in 1997. Some classical art museums bear a video gaming retrospective, as with 2012 Smithsonian American Art Museum exhibition titled The Art of Video Games, 29, or as part of the Museum of Modern Art Applied Design exhibition in 2013, 30. Starting in 2015, the Strong National Museum of Play adds games annually to the World Video Game Hall of Fame. In 2016, the first museum dedicated solely to the history of the video game industry, the National Video Game Museum, was opened in Frisco, Texas. Legal issues surrounding retro gaming, edit. Though many abandonware titles are available for free download on third-party websites, the duration of copyright on creative works in most countries is far longer than the era of home computing. Emulators are typically created by third parties, and the software they run is often taken directly from the original games and put online for free download. 14. While it is completely legal for anyone to create an emulator for any hardware, unauthorized distribution of the code for a retro game is an infringement of the game's copyright. 31. Some companies have made public statements regarding the issues, such as Nintendo, stating that the introduction of emulators created to play illegally. Copied Nintendo software represents the greatest threat to date in the intellectual property rights of video game developers. 32. However, video game developers and publishers typically turn a blind eye to emulation. 14. One reason for this is that at any given time, most of the games illegally distributed for emulation are not presently being sold by the company which owns the game, and so the damages the company would collect in the event of a successful lawsuit would most likely be negligible. 31.
Well, I'm gonna have stuck right here. Just hang on. Okay, I'm gonna read out loud again. Gonna be a continue.
See also, edit. Video game collecting. List of retro-style video game consoles. History of video game consoles. Halcyon Days, interviews with classic computer and video game programmers. MAME, multi-system emulator. Old school revival. Retro computing.
Okay, about I go to the National Video Games Museum in Frisco, Texas. I go there for that. You see, my brother David, he gonna take me the National Video Games Museum in Frisco, Texas. I go there. My brother David, he take me there. Well, we hope you like my videos. We hope you like it. Well, maybe that's it.